Hi, I'm Simon Canton. Welcome to my vlog. A couple of videos I've watched recently by Josie Calloway and Garrett Robinson have talked about the friend zone. This made me feel a little old because the word friend zone didn't exist back in my day. When I was single, it was called Unrequited Love. Unrequited love has a very different meaning to me than the friend zone. With the friend zone, the obligation seems to be on the woman, whereas with unrequited love, the onus is on the man. Before I met my wife, I suffered from an extreme case of unrequited love that I'd like to tell you about. But first I need to fill in some background. I was very shy as a child. I had one friend in primary school called Alan. We did lots of things together, but the rest of the class avoided us. While other kids were off playing kiss chasing or British bulldogs, we'd be in a corner pretending we were in Knight Rider. My parents thought that I'd benefit from being in a smaller school for secondary, so they enrolled me in Sanford Park School. Sanford Park was a single-sex school, which was pretty common back in the 80s. There was probably a 50-50 split between co-ed and single-sex schools back then. Every morning I'd cycle to school and I'd pass a lot of pretty girls who were on their way to their single-sex school too. And a lot of those girls would smile at me. See, before I gained 60 kilos, I was pretty handsome. At least I think I was in retrospect. I didn't think so at the time though. I thought pretty girls smiled at all the boys. I thought they were just being nice. So I never approached a girl to say hi. And back then, a girl could never ever approach a guy. It just wasn't a done thing. It seems strange to me that things can change so much in 25 years. But that is quarter of a century. Things have changed quite a lot. So I was shy and didn't feel adequate to talk to girls. And the rules said that they weren't allowed to talk to me. So I didn't date as I got older. I wasn't alone in that. Probably only about half the class in secondary school dated and had girlfriends. But I was frustrated. Just not frustrated enough to go up to a girl and say hi. Then on holidays at a disco, I asked a girl to dance. She said no, so I asked another girl to dance, and she said yes. And then we hung out for the next 4 days of the holiday, and I kissed a girl for the first time. Here's the embarrassing part. I was 18 at the time. The first time I kissed a girl I was 18, which is sweet in movies, but it's not all that sweet in real life. You think I'd have learned something from that experience. That if you go up and ask girls to dance, sometimes they say yes. But I hadn't learned anything. The next year I went to college and I fell instantly in love with a girl. I say love because crush doesn't seem adequate to describe how I felt. I was obsessed with this woman. Let's call her Elle. Whenever Elle was in the room, I couldn't take my eyes off her. I wrote over 200 bad poems about her. She and I were in the same close group of friends, so I saw her every day. I loved talking to her and thought she was the most beautiful person in the world. But I never told her that. I could never get over my shyness. Every morning I went into college thinking, this is the day I tell Elle how I feel. And every evening I'd come back cursing myself, calling myself a coward for not asking her. The days turned into months and I still hadn't asked Elle out. The spark became a sharp ache that I couldn't be with the woman I loved. This was college, so most people were snogging random people at every dance. By the way, this was also 90s Ireland, so it was very Catholic. No one was having sex, but everyone was kissing each other. One of my friends in college was going out with the same girl for over a year. He said he could never have sex with her because he'd feel far too guilty afterwards. In Ireland in the 90s, at least in my group of friends, it was about waiting until marriage. So no one was having sex, but everyone was kissing random strangers at college dances. Except me, of course, because I was saving myself for the woman I loved. At every dance I tortured myself, thinking 100 ways that I could ask Elle to dance. I never acted on any of them. Meanwhile, Elle was beginning to dislike me. I've always been pretty good at reading body language. When I'm in a conversation, I can see what someone really means by the way they're using their body language. So I could see that Elle didn't want me around. The one thing I've never been able to pick up on, due to lack of experience, is when someone's interested in me. There were at least 2 women that I can think of that were obviously interested in me. They'd come over whenever they could, or they'd invite me over to their group. They'd ask me to do little things for them that they could obviously do themselves. Remember that they had to wait for me to ask them out. They weren't allowed to, and I never did. Because I was waiting for my love to notice me. Someone said that unrequited love is self-hatred. And I think that's true. Why would you doom yourself to a life without someone loving you back? Why would you choose to spend your life alone when other people would gladly spend it with you? Everyone on the planet is deserving of love, but they just have to look where it already exists. After all, when you're looking for your car keys, you don't stare at the one spot until the car keys happen to be in that spot. If love isn't in the place you're looking, then you should be looking somewhere else. Unrequited is an affliction that no one should suffer through, but no one has to. To bring it back to the friend zone, there's a reason why unrequited love is a better phrase than the friend zone. You don't blame your car keys for not being in the spot you're staring at. And neither should you blame the spot for not having car keys in it. You need to go and look for your car keys where your car keys are. So go and look for love where love is. Don't blame someone for not loving you back. Thanks for watching. Hey, thanks for checking out my vlog. If you'd like, you can pick up a couple of my books for free over here on Amazon. Or if you'd prefer, you can check out my website below. Thanks for watching.